All right, happy Saturday, everybody. Hopefully, you're having a good day. Talk about our plays from yesterday. Good day in the NBA. We had Rashawn Holmes under 7.5 rebounds. That was a bust. I think he hit that the first half. That game was very close. LaMelo Ball, we had his over 3.5 threes. We had his over 12.5 rebounds plus assists. Both of those cashed. Wimby over 2.5 3-pointers. God, I love that read. He took 9 3-pointers in the first 3 quarters, made 1. It is what it is. Love the read. Just didn't drop. We had Chris Paul over 6.5 assists. That cashed. We had Giannis over 30.5 points. He did not play. And we had Walker Kessler double-double at -105. That was very sweat-free. So we've got a lot of games to talk about. Let's get into this big card here. I'm going to go through each game, and then I'm going to give you my best bets. There are a lot of them. So let's get into it. So first game on the card, Rockets and the Mavericks. We see the Rockets plus 4.5. I don't know if AD is going to make that big of an impact. Not comfortable taking the Mavericks -4.5. Give me the Rockets plus 4.5. Strong lean towards the over 225.5. Pacers and the Lakers. No Luka, no LeBron. So we're seeing the Lakers plus 3.5 without those two. We do have Mark Williams making his performance debut here. Give me the Pacers -3.5. Should be a pretty quick pace game. I like this spot. No Miles Turner. So we'll have Thomas Bryant starting for him. But I like Pacers -3.5. Next game, Hawks and the Wizards. Hawks coming off a win against Milwaukee last night. Obviously, no Giannis there. We see the Hawks -5.5 against a Wizards team. Jordan Poole went absolutely insane last night. But give me the Hawks -5.5. Both teams on a back-to-back. I like the spot for them. Alexander Sarr should be back for Washington. Only thing I could see if Trae Young sits or something like that. So it's one to watch, but -5.5 if their normal starters play. Spurs and the Magic. I thought the Spurs ended up beating Charlotte. That was a crazy finish. De'Aaron Fox hit a buzzer beater. Replay overturned it. Pretty crazy there. Good bounce back spot here for the Spurs. Plus 2.5 on the road. I know the Magic are better at home. But yeah, give me the Spurs plus 2.5. This doesn't feel right, if I'm being honest. Plus, I like coming back after a loss for them to get the win. I do like the way the Spurs look with De'Aaron Fox here. Next game, Warriors and the Bulls. Jimmy B making his debut for the Warriors. Going up against the Bulls. Bulls plus 6.5. Last time they played, the Warriors smacked them around, beat them by a lot. But that was in Golden State. Bulls at home. I don't love the lineup they're rolling out, but I think 6.5 is too much. So give me the Bulls plus 6.5. Lean towards the over 235.5. Next play, Thunder and the Grizz. Game of the night. I think that's safe to say. Maybe. I don't know. It's either this game or the next game. But it should be a good game either way. We see the Thunder -1.5 on the road. Grizz should have their normal starting lineup. Thunder played. They'll be on a back-to-back. That said, they played their bench a ton last night getting ready for this game. So give me the Thunder -1.5 on the road. I like the spot for them. Next game, Trailblazers and the T-Wolves. We see Trailblazers plus 5.5. That's pretty light for a Trailblazers team. Usually double digits. So T-Wolves -5.5 doesn't feel bad. I would lean towards the under 216.5. I think we're actually going to see defense on both sides of the ball. So 216.5 would be my first play. Then T-Wolves -5.5. Next play or next game is going to be the Celtics and the Knicks. We see Celtics -2.5. I don't love the way the Celtics have looked, if I'm being honest. Knicks at home in the Garden. Give me the Knicks plus 2.5. I like this play here. Celtics need to do some soul searching. They got smacked last game. Next game, Nuggets and the Suns. We've got the Nuggets -4.5 going up against the Suns. We should have KD back in this game. So that said, still don't love them here. Give me the Nuggets -4.5. I didn't like the way the Suns looked against the Jazz. That was a, 9-point spread, and Jazz should have won, to be honest. So give me the Nugs coming in fresh legs, -4.5. Next game, Pelicans and the Kings. We see the Pelicans +6.5 on the road against the Kings. Interesting to see how Zach LaVine does in this game. It's an interesting mix with this team, but I do like the Kings in this spot. Don't mind the -6.5 with Zion Williamson still on a minutes restriction. No DeJounte Murray. It's a good spot to take the Kings. Just a little too much for me. This would be something I'd pair it with something else. Drop that down. Over under of 238.5. I think we'll see defense in this one, so slight lean towards the under in that one. Next game, Jazz and the Clippers. Jazz obviously coming off game last night, so this will be a back-to-back for them. -14.5 for the Clippers. That is a lot, man. This Jazz team, I'll tell you, this Collier guy looks fantastic. But that said, I think we're seeing this reflected because we won't see a couple of the starters play because it's a back-to-back. So wouldn't be shocked if we see Markkanen and Collins sit, something like that. So it's one to watch. If they do sit, right, I think 14.5 is appropriate. It'll probably end up being a blowout. So not much I want to take in that. I did want to take the Collier assist just because he's been blowing through that line, but blowout potential back-to-back. I just don't love this spot. So that's where I'm at with those. Let's get the plays here. But before we do that, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I don't have college on this just because there's a huge slate and it's going to take a decent amount of time to go through. And it is 2:20 in the morning. So don't love that time. But I will be dropping plays in the Discord. It is absolutely free to join. Link is down below. Absolutely massive slate there. But let's get into the plays today. First one is going to be Jalen Brunson under 7.5 assists. He is only over this in 2 of 11 versus Boston. If we look over his last 5 games, he is averaging about 8.2 potential assists. So not even averaging a ton of assists. Boston is allowing the 3rd fewest assists to the point guard position. I think Brunson scores tonight. His points line's at 25.5, almost made the card. He's got a very good matchup to score points. So that's where I'm at with Brunson. Next play is going to be Alperen Sengun over 9.5 rebounds at -115 on FanDuel. He's over this in 75% of his games with Eason and Thompson on the court with him. So I do like the fact that we have no Fred VanVleet. We got Eason in there. So good spot for him to get boards. And if we just kind of look at the flow of the game, he should be hanging out under the basket a little bit more. Thompson's going to have his hands full. So should result in Sengun getting some boards in this spot. I would imagine it's going to be Thompson on, a tougher defensive matchup here. Next play is going to be Anthony Edwards under 12.5 rebounds plus assist. I think he goes full scoring mode tonight. I think there's going to be some good defense. Portland doesn't allow a ton of assists. So now rebounds he could get. But I don't think he gets his line. So I'll take the under 12.5 rebounds plus assists. This will be 11.5 on almost every book, probably by morning. Malik Monk over 10.5 rebounds plus assists. I'm going right back to this. We've been banging this. He has a beautiful spot to get rebounds. His line's 3.5. I'll probably end up doing a ladder up to like 5 rebounds for him at plus money. If we look at New Orleans, 22nd in rebounds to the point guard position, 25th in assists to the point guard position. That said, hasn't been getting a ton of assists, but he's been making it up in the rebound portion. So he's got a good spot either way here. So I'm not going to fade it, especially at -105, getting good value here. Next play, Mark Williams over 11.5 rebounds. Is actually 10.5 now. This needs to be changed. It's 10.5 -130 on DraftKings. Still love it. If we look at the Pacers, 25th in rebounds allowed to the center position. If we just look back at the last couple of centers, they've been dominating. Zubac had 15. Kessler for the Jazz had 13. Hartenstein had 13. Nick Richards for Phoenix had 14. And there's no LeBron to steal boards from him. So really good spot here for him. Next play is going to be Pascal Siakam over 7.5 rebounds, -130 on FanDuel. It's over this in 4 of 7 versus the Lakers. I like this play because there's no Miles Turner. He's got Bryant in there at the center position. He's only going to play probably 25, 28 minutes, so should leave room for Siakam to grab some boards here. One thing about Williams, he allows a lot of rebounds. So he's a good rebounder, but he's not a big guy necessarily. So does allow some boards on the other side. Next play is going to be Zach Edey over 7.5 rebounds. Love this play. His minutes are getting back to around 25 or so. If we just look over the last 3 games, he's got 11, 14, and 15 rebounds. Oklahoma City does give up a lot of rebounds. They're 20th in rebounds to the center position. So great spot for Zach Edey to have a day here. Next play, staying in the same game, Ja Morant over 6.5 assists. I mean, we just saw quickly last night put up 10 assists versus OKC. Now, that said, OKC top 5 in fewest assists. If you go every position, they don't give up a ton of assists. Someone's got to get them. So I think it's going to be Ja. I don't really love Desmond Bane to get him. So give me Ja over 6.5 assists here. And then last play on the card is going to be DeAndre Ayton for the Trailblazers under 15.5 points. He has a terrible matchup here. If we look at Minnesota, they have just been holding centers to very minimal points. I mean, they just held Vucevic to 10 in their last game. Only 4 of the last 15 centers have gone over their points line. And if we look at Ayton, the last time he played Minnesota, it was like 4. He had like 4 points. I could see this definitely being a blowout. 5.5 just feels like a misleading line there. So yeah, I like him to go under in his points today. So those are the plays for today. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Like I said, if you want college basketball plays, join the Discord, absolutely free. We'll be posting those. There'll be some parlays and things like that. A lot of lines that haven't come out, but I wanted to jump on this while it was early and they're still good value. So appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll be dropping a Super Bowl video later today as well. So I will catch you guys for that, and I'll see you next video.